The White House bans a trans activist for a topless photo at a Pride event. Rose Montoya, a trans model and activist, said she was, quote, living her truth and wasn't trying to be vulgar or profane. She was among hundreds invited by the Biden administration to mark Pride Month, observed every June. Montoya shared a video from the event on Instagram featuring a clip of her standing in front of the White House topless and covering her nipples with her hands. So she wasn't totally tits out, at least in the photo. She was, you know, covering her shame with her fingers. Like, she's like, ooh, I'm gonna cover my titties. But so right-wing media shared screenshots from the video, calling this disrespectful. Many of Montoya's critics misgendered her by referring to her with male pronouns and calling her anti-trans slurs. The White House spokesperson said Tuesday that Montoya and the other people featured in the video would be banned from future events, saying, quote, this behavior is inappropriate and disrespectful for any event at the White House. It is not reflective of the event we hosted to celebrate queer families or the hundreds of guests who were in attendance. Individuals in the video will not be invited to future events. Yeah, conservatives are trying to call me a groomer after this. And I would just like to say that, first of all, going topless in Washington, D.C. is legal, and I fully support the movement in freeing the nipple, because why is my chest now deemed inappropriate or illegal when I show it off? However, before coming out as trans, it was not. Right, like, here's part of what is so stupid about the backlash about this, is that there have definitely been, like, free the nipple marches in Brighton, most commonly, I guess, in Europe. We have them here sometimes, too. I know, because there have been local ones near my area, and I've just never gone. Cisgender women take their shirts off as a form of protest, not infrequently. This is like when they're protesting for their rights as women, they'll take their shirts off, you know, and they'll draw things on their chest, and they run around naked during protests. That is what they do. That is what women do, and that's totally normal. But apparently when a trans woman at a protest, at like an event commemorating a protest at the very minimum, if you're hosting a Pride event, it is commemorating a protest at the very minimum, if you wouldn't directly call that event a protest. One of the things that's really fascinating about this, though, is you can tell how they actually see her as a woman because they are so upset that she went topless. Like, people, like, a disgrace to our country, calling it a disgrace to our country. Look, she's covering she's got her hands covering it. It's fine. And they're freaking out about it. So, like Mama was saying earlier in the chat, that the way that they react to this shows that they do see us as our target gender. They would not be upset with her if they thought that she was a man. Why would they be mad at her for having her tits out? Because men, even big, fat, sweaty men, are allowed to have their tits out. No one's allowed to have tits in the White House. Not allowed. No tits. So, but oh my God, here's the absolutely delicious cherry on top of this already fairly funny news story, is that right next to her, can you see this arm right here? You can see this person's arm in the screenshot from her video. It's a transgender man. Look at this. Top surgery scars, nipple grafts. That's a female-born person who had top surgery. So everybody's mad at her for having her tits out, but nobody's mad at this guy for having his chest out, which just, again, goes to show, yeah, they're mad at this woman for doing something obscene because she's doing a thing that a woman would be obscene. But, like, seriously, if you thought that this trans man is a female, you would be just as mad, if not more mad, about this. Those are some female-born nipples. They're not female-presenting nipples anymore, but those are a person who was assigned female nipples. Do they realize that trans women actually grow breasts? Hold on. I've been reliably informed by the Twitterverse that Americans have fought and died by the hundreds of thousands, so this man could masquerade as a woman and bare his fake breasts on the White House lawn. Imagine working your whole life to be taken seriously as a woman instead of sexualized just to have some dude show off his boob job on the White House lawn. Like, I don't even know that, I don't know that those were boob job boobs. Those could be au naturels, as far as I know. But, you know, it's hard to tell because she's covering them up. Like, it's kind of hard to tell how big someone's titties are or how fake they are if they are totally covered by their own hands. Like, uh-oh, I can see your top boob. Uh-oh, look at this. You can see her top boob. You can see her top boob. It's not even side boob. She's covering up the side boob. The side boob is too tantalizing. The side boob is far too tantalizing. You can only see the top boob. Which, like, so that's not even more obscene than what you would see at a fucking Renaissance festival. You ever see the Renaissance festival? You push the titties up, and then there's, like, you know, you got your cleavage right there. My cleavage is represented in a shirt right now. But, like, you can see all of the top of the boob. Cleavage. Like, whoop, there's a hill, and it's booby up top there. I feel like I'm going insane. No one talks about the trans men being banned. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that the White House said that the other people in the video were going to be banned also. So I assume that, this man is in the video. That's my assumption, is that he is included in that. The people who are not going to be allowed back. Which is best, cleavage, side boob, or under boob? Listen, I'm going to come out strong for under boob. I know that might be an unpopular opinion, but under boob is really where it's at. Just the good shape of the under boob, the roundness of the under boob. I guess it works best with small titties, but whatever. At least she wasn't arrested, I guess. That's the thing that's always funny, is when a trans woman has her tits out and gets arrested for public indecency for having her tits out and then gets put in a male prison, That's one of the really frustrating things that happen. So at least that didn't happen this time. We can be happy that was not the case, and would laugh at the conservatives for being unable to be ideologically consistent. It is not ideologically consistent to say that a trans woman is a man and also to police her having her tits out in public. Like, you can't say she's a man and also say that she's required to wear a shirt in public, because if she's a man, then men are allowed to have their shirts off, and it doesn't matter how much chest material they have. It doesn't matter how fat their titties are. That's a man's titties. So be ideologically consistent. Maybe try it for once. I don't know. They really do see us as our proper genders. They are mauling that they have to work so hard against their own nature to be bigoted toward us. I wonder if they ever even ask themselves why they are this way. Yeah, the whole idea that you have to tell us that you're trans, they are frightened of the idea of being attracted to us, and because they do reflexively see us as our proper genders. I think that it was Ben Shapiro who was talking about maybe Laverne Cox and was trying to consistently use he, him pronouns, but then slipped up and used she, because yeah, you do reflexively refer to trans people as their target gender, especially if they've been on hormones for a while and they're successfully passing. But there is something ineffable where at some point you can just sort of change, even if they don't 100% pass as cis. Like the experience of that person just starts to feel more natural, They probably want laws against women that they do not find attractive. I think that is one of their biggest problems with trans men. They really love to call trans men ugly women who grow beards, which is just fantastic for women with PCOS. Like, it's wonderful. The male gaze strikes again. Happy Pride from myself and my patrons, especially want to shout out Tiago Nascimento, Mersh Rolvog, Amanda B., Danielle McDonald, Sarah A., Spooky Heather Sylvia, Robin Olson, Michelle Winter, Athiette, Wellington Marcus, Jamie Jam, Desi Quiche, Suzanne Maynard, Nova, Kevin Young, Sojo, Elizabeth Bartell, and Mr. Atheist.